God damn it. Oh, okay.
All right, welcome to the Fan by Modeling School.
I'm ready.
Okay, we're live.
Oh, chicka bow wow.
But a chow chow. Chicka wagga wah. Welcome in. Wow. modeling school. Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School.
Yo,
How are you, brother?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
I am living the dream.
That's good. That's good. Congratulations on 400 plus subs on YouTube. The grind is real. I'm proud of you, my brother.
Thank you. I'm working hard. I know you're working hard. I see you working.
I'm working.
I see you working your game.
I'm bringing people the conversation they don't want to have.
That's what the internet is for.
276, man. To think about it, the Hold Up TV was stuck at 141 for years, and we've seen some great growth, the both of us.
Yo, you didn't post anything for 275. I would have thought 275 was worthy.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, wait, not 276. I'm sorry. Where are we at? We are 267. That's where we're at.
Oh, well, yo, congratulations.
And congratulations to you, my brother. Congratulations to you. Grinding life after Spoon. I just want to throw a couple of quick shout outs here really quickly to everyone that's here. Shout out to the content creators that still support each other, coming around the community. Lainey O, Hannah, Bex, Matt, squad of people helping other people do the damn thing. Great show, Mothership Mondays. I always know it's a great show on Mothership Mondays when I want to call up and I'm like, you listen to me, I'll tell you about the Bible right now. As soon as you said the book of Enoch, I was like, here he goes with the heretical shit. Here he goes with the heretical shit. Non-canonized.
Which is why I don't do a show about religion with you.
Why? Because I have the entire Council of Nicaea manuscript over here.
Right.
I can look it up. Whatever.
You have your mainstream nonsense.
I have the actual books.
I mean, that's good, but I mean, like, I mean, we don't have to get into this, but the argument is that gives it conformity and mainstreamity.
No,
and there was corruption. There was man being corruption behind the council.
Yes, I know. And then Tom Hanks came and he saved us all from the evil. I've never been a Catholic, so this is more your bag.
Yeah, don't defend the Catholics.
I
studied. There's anything wrong with that guy. But anyway, I digress. We're going to talk about something less controversial, like Kanye West and his White Lives Matter shirt.
Oh, amen. Praise God. Praise God.
Before we get into it, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Praise God.
So that's our first topic of the day.
So what a doozy to start with, right? Let's a little backstory here. Candace Owens, if you don't know who that is, she is the adorable. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we get into that, I was driving my mother up from Harlem the other day, right? And I brought up Candace Owens. I was like, man, she's so infuriating, but isn't she just so adorable? She's a cute lady. She is an attractive woman. And my mom is like, I've never heard my mom use these terms, and I apologize for the Christian ears. My mom said, F that B. She ain't adorable, and I've never heard my mom use those terms.
Your mom is not a fan of
she is not a fan of Candace Owens. But if you don't know who Candace Owens is, she is, before the Red Pill became a place for well, let me not take any shots. She is a part of the original Red Pill community on YouTube. Red Pill, as in she took the red pill and her mind was awakened to the nonsense and drivel, her words, of the Liberal Party. So Candace has been doing her things for a while. She's fought on both sides And she's been wrong. There are things she's had some takes where I was just like, that is the dumbest thing ever, right? And she is also, your favorite type of person. She married into, I believe, the aristocracy in England. She's married to someone that's got some type of clout in England. Like this guy.
What's up? Marrying the money, people. That's what you need to be doing.
But famously, a couple of years back, Kanye West tweeted out the most infamous words that the internet had heard up until that point. He tweeted out, "I like the way Candace Owens thinks." And, it just took off from there. They became fast friends. They had a little falling out, but then they reunited in their friendship. She's been going hard at Kim Kardashian on the internet, said that Kim Kardashian is a prostitute and Kris Jenner, her mother, is her pimp. So that's the backdrop. They showed up to Paris.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Not the craziest thing. They showed up to Fashion Week in Paris donning White Lives Matter shirts.
Right. Real quick, Rogue says, do you have a name for the skull? Yeah, I've got a skull mask back there. I don't. I actually haven't named the skull. I'm actually really into masks. And eventually I want to have a set where I just have weird masks behind me. So I don't really name my mask, but that's not the only weird mask that I have. I've got a boatload of them, actually. But thank you for asking, Rogue.
Remember to tell the cops that, folks, when we're all recounting his.
Lainey says, listen, Mantis, you may not want to have a religious show, but yeah, it's kind of a religious show. I guess everything we do ends up being a religious show, isn't it, Steve? It's
a shout out to Lainey. It's hard, right? So I believe that the best conversations, and first of all, you two need to stop apologizing, right? When you go there, right? When you go political or anything like that, just spare the audience.
I know. I feel you.
Just do it. Just lean into it. It wasn't like you were both. I don't want to hear two morons talk about these things, right? But two articulate, intelligent people. That's always a riveting listen. You're wrong about everything you believe about Christianity, but that's. I mean, I've never been a person so wrong.
Thank you, coming from the fanatic. Thank you so much.
Okay, but so Candace Owens, Kanye West. The adorable Candace Owens. She's cute like a little chocolate Hershey's kiss, right? Wait. That might not have been appropriate. She's
Why
cute.
Not?
I don't know. Someone's going to get offended. But they wore White Lives Matter shirts to Fashion Week. Now, I want to lay out an argument. I don't know if there are any fashionistas present here. Is Fashion Week not the time historically for people to wear things that they feel like will be thought-provoking? This is the backdrop of the argument, folks.
I absolutely. Here's what it is. He masterfully trolled the world, and the world, being idiots, fell right for it.
Again.
He just does something controversial, and it's like not even that. If you think about it, it's not that controversial, and it shouldn't be that controversial. But people collectively lost their goddamn minds from a T-shirt.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Mantis. I'm one of the most winning debaters on the internet and right.
Look at Cincy's comment.
Now, since you said you didn't like that word, so I'm going to hold you to that standard.
Oh, got him. Yeah, that's the problem with having all these values. People call you on it. I remember that.
But here's the crazy thing, man. Here's the crazy thing. They wore it. I would like to address the body language in the photo first. Right now, she is a married woman. He is a crazy person, but the picture there, it does not translate into "this is my BFF."
It doesn't.
It looks, wild speculations. It looks like a high school picture, like the girlfriend longingly, lovingly looking at her boyfriend.
I 1,000% agree with you. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to be the one to say it because I didn't want people to think this is a show about gossip or we're gossiping about who's banging who. But it does kind of look like they're banging. Am I wrong?
I mean, it does. If we were all in high school together, I would definitely say, "Oh, Candace got a crush on Kanye."
But Kanye clearly had a crush on her first. That's all. You don't tweet loving things about people unless you're trying to hit that.
Especially when you've been married to a brain dead person like Kim Kardashian, who is extremely intelligent in regards to the marketing of her brand. But I can't imagine that the conversations with Kim are that deep.
Well, you heard she had a rough week, right?
Who Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, she was fined over $1 million.
Oh, thank God. Why?
She was fined over $1 million promoting a fake cryptocurrency on her Instagram.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when you try to breathe and walk at the same time, and your last name's Kardashian.
It's essentially like this scam artist crypto paid her a bunch of money to tell people to buy the crypto on her Instagram. She did it. It turned out it was worthless. And then the FCC or some one of those groups gave her a big old fine, over $1 million.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. I just want to address some of the chat right here. Lainey said, Matt says, I'm the fashionista. Rogue Radio says, Lainey says, it's turning into more of a thought-provoking week. Lainey, I would just want you to know that if I do find lizard people, know that I will be the one that's responsible for their genocide, right? I believe they exist, and I will wipe them off the face of this earth.
What if you're a lizard person?
Oh, I'm glad
the episode of the show has made me think.
I'm glad you asked that question, because you kept trying to pin poor Matt to the wall with, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? The proof of burden is on you. I'm saying that I am not. You have to prove that I am.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I have every right to get a bunch of weapons, to go out to the jungle that Lainey was talking about, and hide and not even talk to any other humans and assume everyone else is a lizard person.
You have that right.
It's your job to prove to me you're not.
No, I can't argue a delusion. So if you want to move to the middle of Costa Rica and assume that everyone's a lizard person, I'm going to allow you that freedom. But don't you dare show up talking about you're probably one. Cincy Star says, so imagine if I had to break my code to say some shit like that. LOL. Cincy not feeling the bullshit early. Shaolin Iceboxer, most attractive Carmel. Complected man on the internet. Ladies, go check out Shaolin Boxer's IG. Shit is popping off over there.
Yeah, what up, Shaolin? How are you, brother? What's with the raccoons? Delayed reaction right there. Oh, man. Yo, so people are really not... See? People are still triggered about what happened.
Yeah, I mean... So let me hear it from you, right? So you think he trolled the internet and people fell into it, right?
Here's what what he's doing. What a lot of good artists do, because let's face, let's get really real. A lot of these people who are artists are just trolls or like pranksters, and they're like, "Look at how crazy and out of the box I think."
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Yes. Oh my God, what a con man! It's all about a hustle.
Slow your roll.
It's how you market yourself.
Yes, right.
Because I'm saying, here's what I'm saying. I went to art school. Drawing ain't that hard. But if you got a story to sell or you got some other sort of thing to sell, go for it. And this is art. This actually might be high art. Him and her walk in there. We know what people feel about him. We know what people feel about her.
Right.
They wear shirts with just a slogan on it, and it sets people enraged. He is successfully being an artist.
Also, while increasing his black dollar, because that who's going to buy that shirt. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
There's only one thing I'm convinced of in this world. Not one thing. There are a few things. One of which is that fanboy modeling school is amazing, right? I'm also convinced of this immutable fact: the upper 1%, of which Kanye is fast becoming a part of. Right? Once you're in the $1 billion club, you're not in yet. You got to be in the billions of dollars club. Your net worth, if revoked, should trigger an economy crash. That's when you're a part of the real power structure, right?
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I'm saying this guy could clip his nails the wrong way. And stocks will plummet and people will kill themselves. So
I believe your statement. It is high art, but I also believe that he is effectively mastered the ability to stay relevant long past his years.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. He hasn't come a good album in a while.
Yeah. Well, I like
fashion. I mean, come on, let's get real. Like, remember when he did the fashion show that was basically a ripoff of the Zoolander fashion show where everyone's dressed like a bum?
Derelict.
Derelict or whatever. He is. People are falling for all. How is he still in the news? Even acting crazy with your ex-girl gets him more fame.
But here's the crazy thing, right? And you get the rub too, right? So Kanye pretending to bring them tapes on the new Kardashian show. Folks, check it out. It's all over the internet. Has now emboldened Ray J to be like, these witches will not treat me wrong. I don't know if you're up on this. This is peripheral to the whole Kanye Candace thing, but the Kardashians are taking L's left and right. Your man Ray J Brandy's little brother came out and dropped mad receipts on IG about how Kim and Chris were in it with him. In fact, Kris Jenner was the one allegedly leading the charge, allegedly for the lawyers.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't actually surprise me. I hadn't heard about that. But wait, hold on. Is there a new show? Where did they put it on a streaming service?
It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Is it success or no?
It's doing. I believe it's doing numbers. You know, it's Hulu. It hasn't. I haven't seen any data. Let me not say Hulu hasn't released it. But they have a wildly entrenched fan base. Right, their fans will follow them to any platform. But in regards to Candace and Kanye, what's really interesting about this whole comment about White Lives Matter is, yes, it does galvanize a level of vitriol from people, but it's amazing to me. If you don't like it, click off, right? Yes, I thought this was completely moronic. I think this is nothing more than a guy who sells cloth at over exorbitant rates, taking advantage of it. I don't think Kanye really has a fully formed political view in his at all.
You know what? He is smart, man. He goes with the flow. His political view is whatever's going to get him Twitter followers.
Exactly.
And that's what's brilliant about this dude.
Yeah.
And so this is the sad thing. He is the epitome of modern rebellion, which makes him cooler than everyone else. When people like who are like, I'm an artist. I go to art school. I'm a badass. I'm whatever, whatever the hip thing is. And they have a shirt that says fuck the police. That's not like rebellious. That's what everyone and their mother has. Everyone has an article of clothing like that. You are not special. You are a loser. You know the real special person is the black dude who wears the hashtag White Lives Matter shirt. That's a rebel.
He's really counterculture. And this is what I've been saying. We've talked about this multiple times, right? And this is just the pendulum swinging right, and then it's impacting the left. Being counterculture, as you were just stating before, was F the police, or being a punk rocker. When being a punk rocker meant something, when going to raves meant something, when being a hip-hop backpacker meant something. Now, it doesn't mean anything, right?
Because here's what I'm saying. When you're a rebel, like, for instance, in the opening days of the rave, you were the weirdo. No one was wearing as colory or as UFO-y pants as you. So other young people looked at us and were like, who the hell are these weirdos?
Oh my god!
And after a while, it becomes mainstream, and that's lame. Everyone starts copying.
Bro, let me just make a
time when you're the rebel.
You spitting facts, man. You're spitting facts. Opposite of Book of Enoch, man. You're spitting truth right now.
He's obsessed.
Let me just put you on to something. If I could, the generation of black kids or people of color, whatever you want to say, that we come from, we were trailblazers, right? We set a standard that allowed a term like blurs to even exist. If it wasn't for the hardship we went through, proving that black kids can skateboard, listen to trance music, punk rock, and other things, there would be no race murder. They're a bunch of posers, man. All these fucking wannabe black hippie crew kids, you don't know the real pain and persecution you face from other black people not following
the line. They gave it to you the worst.
And Bex, what I'm talking about, Bex, chime in.
Yeah, Bex knows.
Bex knows.
Lady says a mantis is definitely a lizard. Rose says, I have a name for your skull mantis. I can't wait to check it out. Bex has just been making sounds all night. She's like, yes. Oh my god, I love the Rage AT.
It's real, man. Church. So now let's talk about some of the fallout over this, right? Because you know what people are talking about more than anything else is this, but no one gives a frick that Trevor Noah left the Daily Show. You know why? You shouldn't care about that. He wasn't funny. He wasn't good at it.
He was never funny.
Yeah.
Here's what it was. Here's what was great about Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart was definitely way political, but he understood it was comedy first,
right?
Politics second.
Right.
Trevor would literally have entire episodes where not a single joke was made.
Yeah.
It was political punditry. Like, basically, he was just talking politics, and the people who were on his side were like, yeah, right on.
And before you jump on a bandwagon, like, well, you guys are just white man worshiping. No, I just think there are black comedians that are way more qualified for the job. In fact, I would love to see this incarnation of Dave Chappelle host the Daily Show. Because let's keep it real. There's Dave Chappelle, there's Bill Murray, and then what was the brother's name? Little old white guy, political comedian, George Carlin.
boom.
So the three of them together, like, but Dave Chappelle would have been a better choice for that, but he would never do anything like that. But no one cares about that shit because all people are really fixed on is that they can't reconcile their feelings for Kanye. And I'm not a Kanye supporter, but I gotta respect the hustle, right? I gotta respect it. Kanye has managed to say no box, right? I'm just out here free falling. Me and my boo Candace.
Yeah.
we out here living like natural born killers, destroying your mind and your liberal sentiment. And then when the conservatives get too cozy to him, he's like, "Oh, you think I'm down with y'all? Let me say some crazy shit."
Oh, right. As soon as the pendulum goes to the other side, he'll switch sides. But like, it's just ridiculous, man. I am fine with whatever political side humor or entertainment takes. As long as you're funny, or if you're a drama, you're dramatic. The problem with Trevor Noah is this isn't white man worshiping. Trevor Noah was not funny. He never really, I think he maybe made me chuckle once or twice. You have to, I don't care what side you're dissing, be freaking funny. And that's what, unfortunately, the left seems to be lacking nowadays. A total sense of humor. When we were coming up, remember, what did we watch? We watched The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. When we were coming up, and it was funny as hell. But now that the left has dominated mainstream society, they've lost their sense of humor. They're uptight, in fact.
Yeah, so if you look at a show like The Boondocks, right? You know why The Boondocks is good? It's not because of the animation. It's because of how hilarious it was and the commentary provided with The Boondocks, right? And I that's what I think a lot of people on the left miss. And I never thought I would be saying this, man. I was watching Ben Shapiro critique The Rings of Power. Matt, I hear you chuckling down there. And I was like, oh, Ben Shapiro is a little weirdo, but he's kind of funny. I never realized that he actually had a sense of humor. I like Andrew Schultz because he's funny, right? I enjoy Andrew Schultz because he's funny. I enjoy Dave Chappelle's commentary because he's funny and he's a philosophical guy. But when you're not funny, it don't make no sense. It's just you espousing, stuff you believe, which is okay, but I don't think that's what that platform is for.
And when it isn't, well, here's the thing. In terms of comedy, I think maybe it might be possible. I'd have to really reevaluate this. But it could be possible that comedy has to be edgy to be actually funny. You have to actually have a butt of the jokes. You have to like dedicate. And so Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais, the blackest man and the whitest man in the world, are the two funniest dudes because they actually go on the edge of comedy. And they're actually delivering something. And simply getting on a soapbox and stating normal statements like, the world is unfair. Right. We should be good to one another. That's not comedy.
Right.
So like I have no use for the Trevor Noahs in the world. And you know what? In terms of like going real quick back to the Kanye West thing.
Yeah.
I have no use for this idea, this blanket idea that because you're a part of a race, because if let's say you're not a white person, you are stuck with a political idea. The idea is that because I'm half Haitian, I have to be disgusted by hashtag White Lives Matter, and I have to be incredibly pro hashtag Black Lives Matter, and I am not allowed to have any subtlety or thought or opinion or questioning of that. And I say, fuck that. Absolutely fuck that. I have no use for that in my life.
I mirror that sentiment in this regard, right? When I see people who are so helplessly enthralled to liberal ideology from my community, I don't hate them, right? I don't hate them. I will get into a robust conversation with them because maybe they don't know the historical truth in regards to African Americans, at least FBA and traditionally conservative. Like all of us come, black families are traditionally conservative. It was later, like 1968, Martin Luther King, JFK. There was a push for JFK because JFK supported Martin Luther King, and the barter there was, can you garner me the black vote? Now, not to say that there wasn't some altruism there where JFK wasn't trying to assist in the civil rights movement. In actuality, his younger brother, was more for the business when it came to black people than JFK ever was. But yeah, you cannot be into a political ideology because you're expected to vote Democrat because you're black. In actuality, I say vote your interest.
It's illogical not to vote your own personal interest, even to vote for someone else. To be like, look at this poor identity political party over here. These poor guys, let me help them out. It is illogical if that vote is gonna take something away from you or not give you a privilege.
Right.
right? So like, and I think it's what's actually interesting is I feel like you haven't stated it, but I feel like you were like me because as I recall, when we were young, we were practically communists. That's
So
how left we were.
it's funny because yes, and also it's hilarious because I was so militant when we were growing up, and a lot of people don't see that side of me. Like I would say militant, racist.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but
I was the black racist when I was growing up, man. I had a view of things based off of the way I was raised, and I willingly adopted this view because it served my agenda, and I got to espouse and beat my friends up with it. Not very much different from me being a Christian. You're all going to hell, and I'm here to pray that you find, baby white Jesus in your hearts.
I gotta say that this is not. I'm not trying to call you out on anything like that or anything like that, but I'm just saying my favorite is when I would take the stance of the Bible and you would take the stance of the Quran, and we would have friendly, spirited debate.
Yes. I remember one day I think I quoted well, I don't want to disrespect the Quran because even though I'm not a Muslim any longer, I
respect it, man. Yeah,
right. But I quoted some prophetic stuff to you and Zeus, and I believe it was in the Quranic version of the end times.
End times, I remember that.
And I was like, you motherfuckers are gonna be my slaves.
I remember I did thinking, I was like, this motherfucker's a psychopath.
All good stuff.
Such good times. But it's funny that we used to be so left, so revolutionary, want it all torn down.
Yeah.
But I personally feel like the left me.
Yeah.
They went to a place where I'm like, well, I don't believe in any of this. What is going on here? Where did this come from?
Well, it's hard to survive that type of ideology when you start getting exposed to truth, right? So I believe that when everyone has a political view or philosophical view or religious or spiritual view, you have underpinnings, right? And those underpinnings are very delicate when you're young because it's only what you've been taught, right? And you're not exposed to any opposition. So the minute you expose to opposition, like the first time a young liberal person has to deal with finding out that most of the anti-crime bills that were harmful to the Black or Latino community came from a Democratic face or body, that's hard to reconcile.
Super predators. That's the Clintons right there.
Yeah.
And then, back in the day, they would have considered the left the biggest lefty lefts ever.
Yeah.
And the blacks would look at them and be like, that's the white man who's going to save me. Guess what? No white man's going to save me.
No.
He's going to call you a super predator and argue that you should be locked up longer.
Exactly. And then, you find out all your liberal friends that you're having coitus with from NYU or Columbia, they're going to go on to become bankers and stuff like that and stop talking to you, even though you're smarter than most of those people. And if you're a young communist, you find out something I think will always rock you to your underpinnings, because when you're used to a certain pattern of speech, right, you say things like Christianity is responsible for some of the biggest genocides in the world, until someone says, are you aware that communism has the highest body count?
They say stupid things all the time. They're like, religion is responsible for all the wars. I'm like, in what century? Like, what world do you look at that any of these wars are like? They can name a war in like some countries you've never heard of, maybe. But like the idea that religion is doing that in this day and age, or even close to this day and age, is crazy.
Oh, I got one better, and I can't use any terms. Or you're picking the wrong religion causing wars in the 21st century, right? So there's a thing that happens in the liberal mind where it's like, respect people of color. And I'm like, hey, you're against genocide, right? And they're like, yes. I'm like, you're against the oppression of women? Yes. I'm like, have you ever read this one specific religious book? And they're like, yeah.
And it's like that about everything, as you know, I think I've told you that like my parents were like, they were hippies, so they were like religious hoppers, and they were all over the place.
Yeah.
For a while there, they were Buddhist, and so I still talk to like
I remember that
the white friends of theirs that were Buddhist back in they're still Buddhist. Right. They're always sitting on this high horse. If you research, particularly their sect, the Nichiren Shoshu sect, the horrible things this sect has done, their hands are not clean of blood.
Yeah, and people don't know that about Buddhism. They always think it's this all-inclusive, all-encompassing religion, where in actuality, if you are not following the exact teachings of the scroll of their sect, they don't recognize you as a real Buddhist. Like, so they wouldn't recognize a lot of the things that they don't, right?
Oh, exactly. So when I started doing kung fu, those people, those aunts and uncles of mine, were like, "Wait, your kung fu master is a Zen Buddhist?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, you shouldn't be listening to that nonsense." And they were going on and saying how he wasn't a real Buddhist. And so I'm just like, it's all the same. It's man just constantly repeating the same mistakes over and over again.
And that's why I find this situation with Kanye to be extremely thought provoking. Now, let me go on the baby white Jesus. Let me go on the record and say this: Kanye does not have a political bone in his body, but what he does have is the mind of a marketer. And he might believe some of the things he says, but I believe, cannot prove, that he says what he says and does what he does out of reaction. And you always know these people when you encounter them, because there's no second layer to their belief structure, right? There's
they only know the top layer, because they don't bother to research or actually have an idea. Like
there's no deeper thought, no comprehension or any of it, right? It's just that layer. But what does that say about the people who react to it? And I would pose that question and hold that mirror up. Did Kanye wear a shirt that says white supremacy is important?
Of course not. Of course not. It's insane. And I actually saw a tweet like that. Somebody said, "This is just further proof that he's giving in to white supremacy ideals and methodologies." And I'm like, what the hell are you going on about?
Right.
He's just being shot. He's just shocking the crowd at Fashion Week. And you fell for it like an idiot.
I have a mentor by the name of Alvin. Shout out to Alvin. Did a show recently with Cincy and I over on the Hold Up TV in regards to thug culture and whitewashed black culture, which was the more clear and prevalent danger. And
that was a good one, man.
Thank you, my brother. Alvin is a very intelligent brother. Important for me in my respect. He is trained and versed in the topics. He went to school for this. He's true to this. He's not new to this. And we came to an agreement on systems, right? Yes, because I'm a Christian, I believe that there are evil systems in play, right? And those evil systems that people would call systematic racism, I would say is an evil system that impacts everyone. I am not looking at Kanye for any type of deeper thought. So I recognize this for what it is. It is a man who knows how to stay relevant. Now, is it dangerous? It could very well be. Let me not discount that. Could it be dangerous? Yes, sure. I'm sure there's a level of internet demon behavior that could be drawn to this and like, look at what Kanye's saying. But at the same time, it's our responsibility as black people to disprove white nationalism. We must meet it in the streets with intellectual thought and deed and action and disprove what they preach.
Well,
right?
The thing is, I think is really hard is people throw words around a lot. And I think that this happens in every generation. In the 90s, or like after 9/11, the word terrorist or terrorism was so overplayed. Everything was a terrorist. And now I bet you they'd call Kanye for wearing that shirt a terrorist, which is just insane, right?
Right.
So nowadays, they call white supremacy. Everything is white supremacy when it's clearly not.
Well, and here's the thing, man. You can turn a word and desensitize people to the word. How will you be able to recognize true white supremacy if you call everything white supremacy?
They've ruined it for these kids. The younger generation will never be able to figure it out. They don't know what a real threat is. They have no idea what true oppression is.
Speaking of white supremacy, moving on to the next topic, Blade. Blade is facing white supremacy.
Oh, okay. This is an interesting take.
It's a bad take. I'm like,
I was about to say maybe you might be using extreme. But real quick, the end is, however, Lowe says the problem is the majority of modern progressivism is based on empathy and outcome. The ideology comes second. As a result, you get inconsistent ideology that often leads to absurdity.
Good thought.
The fact that Kanye has captured so much intellectual attention, I just find so depressing. Remember when words had definitions? I miss that absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah,
man. I find that the hardest thing today, man, this is real, is a standard. Like no one wants to be locked into a standard because then they have to acknowledge truth, right? They have to acknowledge that there is a standard we all have to abide by. And what standard are you holding Kanye to by saying that this shirt is racist? What you have to prove that. You have to prove that the intent is racist. Is Kanye an idiot? Yes. Is Kanye mentally imbalanced? Yes. Is Kanye an overrated MC? Yes.
Yeah, and oh my god, I was going to bring that up too. That like there are certain MCs that I would actually get spiritual advice from. I'd be like, yo, this man's wise.
Oh,
Kanye has had some clever lyrics. I wouldn't say they're wise. I wouldn't say he's a spiritual master or even a political one, right?
And I would swing that across to the right side of the aisle. Now, here's my beef with the conservatives in regards to Kanye. You guys will suck up to anyone that you think is espousing what you believe, right? And you hoist them up. The Christians lifted him up because he made a gospel album. I'm like, this man's married to Kim Kardashian. Okay, that's not his sin, but it is his wife. Let me flip it on you here, Mantis. Let me get a little deep with you with the Christianity. A lot of people gave Kim Kardashian shit because they're like, she's treating her husband poorly. But the Bible calls you to love your wife. And if you are the Christian and your wife is Kim Kardashian, you know what you're supposed to do? Regardless of that, you're supposed to honor your wife. You're not supposed to go on Twitter, go on rants, denigrating her in public, making fun of her, and you most certainly should not have other Christians join in on that. Well, I believe it's very clear in Peter.
This is funny. Real quick, Lo says, no. Here it is. Kanye is the Shyamalan of MCs.
100%. 100%.
So here's the thing. I don't understand. Here's what it is. Personally, I don't understand hero worship. I think it's funny when people espouse to me that I have hero worship. They're like, you worship Elon Musk. I don't worship Elon Musk. I just want to go to fucking Mars.
You're like, I don't worship him, but I'm willing to kill everyone here to make sure I get a good seat.
Well, at least as long as I'm getting a seat, yeah. But the point is, I'm getting something out of it. Right. But I don't understand this whole, like, remember when a lot of Christians were into Trump and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, I agree with you. I was like, yo, simmer down.
Sacrilege. That was idolatry.
Yeah, no, that's insane to idolize him. He is clearly a very flawed human, and he let us know how flawed he was.
Yeah.
What did they say? Let a man talk. He will eventually tell you who he is.
And he told us.
He told us who he was.
Many times. Many times. Kanye, man. I was getting worried. I wasn't going to take my own advice. I thought we were going to lose the crowd, but then I realized we have more people in here now. Kanye has not been the same since his mother died, right? But that's not to say that he doesn't understand what he's doing. And I think that in his lucid moments, Kanye says the things that he needs to say to either vent or attack or pull people in.
Thank you, Bex.
Kanye is arguably one of the most important figures to exist from hip-hop in today's climate, because if Kanye did it, who else can do it? Because Kanye didn't come from means. You know what I'm saying? He came from the south side of Chicago, right? The man did not come from generational wealth or anything like that. He did have a great mother who loved him. And to see what he's accomplished and what he's still accomplishing, right? To have almost been bankrupt, to be a billionaire, to be recognized in the highest parts of fashion, when people who are in hip-hop in regards to fashion, this is a very interesting case study if you guys don't know that. The fashion world hated hip-hop fashion for so long. And for Kanye to be able to go to the Met Gala, do you know what it means or what it used to mean to be invited to the Met Gala?
You gotta be white as shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the most liberal people on the planet, and they're just like, I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, honor that.
Honor that. I listened to Bieber's "Holy" on repeat for eternity before taking any kind of Christian guidance from Kanye.
No, I wouldn't take any. I wouldn't take any at all. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to do some Blade?
Let's do some Blade.
Is it time to do Blade, everybody in chat? Let's do this.
Why didn't you have Wesley Snipes queued up? Motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. Because that's what
now that's a man I'd listen to spiritual advice from.
I take spiritual advice from Wesley Snipes. Not tax advice, but spiritual.
Yes, always bet on black.
So the MCU 3 to 4 years ago announced at San Diego Comic-Con. The buzz had been in the air that something special was going to go down at this Comic-Con, and no one knew what it was. And then after seeing the cast of the Eternals, we were all like, man, okay. After seeing, a few other things, but then Mahershala Ali walked out on stage. No one knew why he was there.
We're like, you lost, brother? I'm sure security said that to him more than once.
Who the hell is that? Oscar award-winning Mahershala Ali. Don't forget that. Walks out on stage, shakes Kevin Feige's hand. They give each other a bro hug. He puts a hat on, and then the Blade emblem comes up in the background. I called you 1 second after that.
I remember that. I remember you were the one who told me the Blade was coming. And you know what's weird? This is what's weird. And this is what I should have realized. You
lied to me. You've been leading me astray for years now.
Let me get it right. You called it. I should have listened to you. Instead, I was trying to get you to listen to me. And what it was, it's from the moment it launched, you're like, this is going to be amazing. And you're like, this is not going to work out. This is going to fall apart. They are never making this movie. I say, we just announced that they have an actor. Of course they are. So for those of you who don't know, not only did the director either walk out or get fired, and people aren't clear, but he 2 months before shooting, he left. Kevin Feige says he doesn't like the script. That's what they were fighting over. And he's having them rewrite the script completely from scratch.
Yeah. So
he's going to set it back a year, if not more.
So there's a few things we can glean from this, right? So we recently, news broke that Armor Wars is going to a theatrical release. And I'm saying this now, and it just dawned on me. Maybe Kevin Feige, maybe you're right about this. Maybe Kevin Feige being so utterly and completely dismayed by not being able to control this thing that he built up. Maybe there was a point when Kevin Feige was thinking about walking away. He's like, hey, this machine runs itself at this point. My spirit is in it. People know what to do to succeed. And then he looked at the reviews of all the Disney Plus shows. He's like, something's gone wrong here. And what's gone wrong here is I've been not paying attention. Maybe there's a silver lining here. Maybe Kevin Feige fired the director because he's like, okay, enough is enough. Right?
Well,
we have to do something good.
I wonder, they've had a lot of either fails or not so successful moves, right?
Right.
And I think maybe he's fed up with that, and now he's demanding quality. And when they're not giving him the quality, he's like, he'd rather now realize he'd rather take the quality than being on time.
Right. Yeah. I would be okay with that. Now, I'm going to say something wildly unpopular. It hurts me that Blade is delayed. I was never really sold on Mahershala Ali as Blade. Right. I want someone young in the franchise, someone that can be with the franchise. I want a Hugh Jackman for Blade, not a white guy, before anyone flips out. Even though, hey, if Ariel can be black, what's good for the goose?
White Blade.
Right? Blade's blackness is not central to the character, right, Mantis?
Damn you! No, that would be a crime. That would be a crime against humanity. I am sick of Marvel doing stunt casting, and so Brie Larson was an example of the stunt casting.
Yes, good point.
He wants people who win awards, and he's like, I'm going to take an Academy Award-winning actor or actress and make them a superhero, and that'll make me look all cool. And so that's why he got Mahershala Ali. I kind of agree with you. Mahershala Ali, I don't even know how old he is, but I think he just seems kind of old to be Blade. I want a younger, more clearly athletic.
Right. Yeah. And
more of an action hero type. And remember, you know what it is? Mahershala Ali is the thinking man.
Oh, he's an amazing thespian. He's an amazing actor.
You know what? I have such respect for him. Have you heard about this whole thing?
No, what thing?
You know that he has never been in a sex scene?
Really?
Even in Moonlight, which is about him being gay.
He's a devout Muslim. Yeah.
He's a devout, and he won't go there. Yeah. And I was like, wait, in Moonlight he had sex scenes. No, it was his younger self who had the sex scenes. And when they flashed the forward, he didn't have any. As
wait, Mahershala Ali in Moonlight?
Is it? It's Moonlight, right?
Is he? Oh, I'll find out.
Yeah, he's the old Moonlight.
Really? I've never seen that movie before.
He's the older version of the kid.
Oh yeah, no. He's not the older version. He's the dad.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, what I'm pointing out is that like I never realized like, he slipped by me on that. But when I heard that was the reason, I was like, much respect to you, brother.
So here's the thing. Yeah, much respect. It reminds me of Denzel. Now this is going to be a controversial take, but I just need you to listen with your ears and not with your heart right now. Denzel Washington.
You're a racist. No.
Denzel Washington did not want to film sex scenes with white women, not because he had an aversion to white women, but because he's like, hey, my fan base is completely black women. He's like, and I feel like I would be ostracizing them to do that. And he's, so it's that type of stuff. It's very risky to take a stand.
Denzel's my hero, so I
listen. Denzel, Harrison Ford, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Hugh Jackman, Morgan Freeman—they're the only people going with me to Mars. And
I don't have a problem with any one of those guys. Those are all straight up. Those are all straight up motherfuckers.
So let's talk about this a little bit. What do you think about that theory that Kevin Feige is trying to redirect Phase 5 and make it not Phase 4? He's like, okay, we made some statements, but now it's time to get back to quality. Because I think the biggest statement you can make for representation is quality. You know what's going to last longer than anyone remembering if a character was black or just black, is if that character was impactful. Black Panther succeeded because it was impactful, not because it was a black guy in the film. That was only a small part of it. What do you think?
Wait, Laney says, so we're not getting Blade 2? Yep. You mean we're not getting Blade 1? We might not get Blade 1. We're not sure. No, I agree with you. I think that Phase 4 has been autopilot.
Right.
And he realized this is bad. He needs to take control. And I think he's bringing down the hammer.
Right.
And here's one of his problems. And I think everyone does this. As the franchise grows, he would hire people the way you would hire someone for a cashier job at Target.
Right. Okay.
You'd be like, okay, let's interview them. Let's see them. Personally, and this is how I would do it just because I'm an anal Nazi. Okay. Here's what I would do. I would take young artists and have them shadow me throughout the movies for years. And I'd make sure they make quality product. And then I'd bless them and be like, you can do She-Hulk. You know what? You can do Miss Marvel. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? You make sure they're good. He's just hiring anyone who has a resume.
And we've seen how that's worked out. So we did a recap and a stock count on Phase 4 Disney Plus projects. I think we agreed that Loki was good. WandaVision was good. Falcon and Winter Soldier was good. I enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it wasn't.
Was it you or maybe it was my sister said, but wouldn't it be better if it was edited down to like a 2.5 hour movie and it was just like a movie? I think it would be. Yeah, it
would have been much better. And that's where I'm going with this thing. That's why I'm glad Armor Wars is going to a theatrical cut, because one, Rhodey deserves a movie, right? Armor Wars deserves the cinematic experience. And for the exact reason that you said, I think it was during Rogue Planet, I would rather 2.5 hours of clear, concentrated story than 5 hours of nonsense. And if nothing proves to you, I'm not saying they should do away with the Disney Plus experiment, right? I think there are some things that are worth being on Disney Plus. I think Moon Knight being on Disney Plus was a good idea. Also,
and Miss Marvel too.
And Miss Marvel as well, right? But your heavy hitters like She-Hulk, War Machine, they shouldn't be on Disney Plus. And Dr. Boyega warned us of this when he said, I will not be Disney Plus. When they asked him, would he ever come back to Star Wars?
That was so clever. And everyone was like, and afterwards people were like, oh, he's a fool for saying that. No, he knew the future. He knew what kind of low quality crap was going to be being produced. And that's for both Star Wars and Marvel, right? Both of them have had trouble. They rarely have good stuff coming on.
Wait, Matt, that's very true. And Matt's got a great take here. Yeah, I think Armor Wars being turned into a movie is to replace Blade in that date for the movie, because they already have a script. Matt, you could be more right than you know, man. You could be more right, and that would make sense for Kevin Feige. Right?
And Don Cheadle, you know, I have trouble with that last name. For some reason, I always call him Cheeto. Don Cheadle. He deserves a movie. He's been in the movies for a while now.
Man, 60.
Give the man a movie. Give the man a movie.
You know how old Don Cheadle is? He was in Colors.
He does
Go
not
look
look
at that movie. Look at that movie. Go look at the movie Colors and look at what the theatrical release
Colors,
date on that was. And he was a grown man in that movie.
I had no idea he was so old.
No, yeah, he's a very, very old.
Black does not crack, my man.
He does not crack. Don Cheadle is the man, and he's done some great work. Matt says John Boyega is a fool, but not just because of Disney Plus comment. I think Matt's reacting a little bit to the John Boyega statement that he only dates black women. Ryan Gosling as Blade. Yes, let's make it happen.
Honestly, Keanu Reeves should play Blade. He's basically John Wick.
And I love Keanu. Actually, I want Keanu Reeves as Dr. Doom.
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
Oh, I thought that was going to make you fucking flip out right now.
But why? Like, I don't know what his Eastern European accent sounds like, but I think he's a good actor.
I think I'm not Eastern European, but we definitely heard his English accent in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Right, which was
There, ergo for 4D.
But he was young then. Now he's wise.
Keanu, he's got longer hair.
He's grizzled.
He's grizzled. He's seen things. Shout out to Keanu for dating age-appropriate women. Have you seen a picture of Keanu's longtime girlfriend?
That's stupid. I'm not giving him a shout out for that. You are a hot actor that all the bitches want. No, what are you doing, man?
She's a silver fox, man.
That's what it is. Leo breaks up with them when they hit 25. Here's my rule: minimum age 25 and up. But not my own age. I mean, come on.
Leonardo DiCaprio is a black hole of supermodels. That's where supermodels. Matt says, "LOL, Boyega can bang whoever he wants." I'm just saying, he might like those no bunnies. You never know.
Look at what Matt said. He's clipping that anal Nazi comment. Ladies says they ruined She-Hulk. They certainly did.
They certainly did.
And that's evidence of a show that just meanders and goes on and exists just to exist. And it's not funny enough to be funny.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have an ongoing story. So what am I doing watching it?
I watch your reviews. I don't watch the show.
Oh, yeah. Just stick with my reviews.
So
somebody said something so weird, and I think you're going to get a lot of these trolls and comments when you do YouTube videos, or any content that you make. Right. But somebody said you claim to hate this, but you seem to love Marvel all those other times when you reviewed it, and you continue to review it to get content.
Idiot.
And I'm like, you're allowed to review things that you don't like, but not only that, how do you know if you're going to review it, you should have an open mind whether you dislike or like it. If you're just going to stand for it, that's not a review. That's propaganda. So
the person that said that, and I'm not into giving you a lot of praise. I give you about 20%. I don't want your head to get too big. But does Walter Cronkite did he have to agree on all the news he reported on? Did he have to enjoy? Exactly. That's not what this is. You review content. There's some shit I post up on the Hold Up TV where you won't hear me express my opinion because I'm like, this is dumb. But I know that people are going to want to fucking talk about it. That's the bottom
exactly
line.
What it is that you should an actual open-minded person will be open-minded to it, but they're not going to be blinded by it. It's not like because I liked all the more Marvel content before, I'm required to like this.
No, I mean,
it's insane. It's so weird. These people are weird.
It's very strange, but you have to remember that often, and I've experienced this myself. I've gone through this. When you're reading something in the comments and you have this emotional attachment to it, you're going to respond out of that. And there's nothing wrong with responding necessarily out of emotion. It's just sometimes your statements don't make sense when you are emotional. Take a moment, breathe before you start typing. In regards to Blade, though, man. So I'm saying it now. If Blade is sacrificed on the altar of quality, I would not be upset because I am a tried and true Blade fan. Now, let me quantify that for you. I was not a fan of early Blade in the comics when he had an afro and a green jacket and he didn't
and he was just like a regular vampire slayer, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't that super, and
he was running around with an afro stabbing vampires. Now, what I will remember the moment I went to go see Blade in the theaters, right? I remember that. It was when I was hanging out with the kids on Columbus Avenue. I hadn't met you yet. and we all, I had a job that I got paid $400 for a week's work. I was working for a law firm, just doing clerical work, and I got my first $400 check, which back then was quite a bit of money.
That's a fortune in the 90s. Are you kidding me?
It was a fortune. I lived
Who
off
gave you $400? What kind of psychopath?
I remember I did two things, right? I picked my girlfriend up. Her name was Genevieve. She went to Eugene Lang. I met up with all the other people. I paid for everyone to get to go see the movie, and I also bought Lauryn Hill's Miseducation album that same year.
Oh, this was back in the day.
I went to Blade one
hip-hop
and bought one of the greatest albums, and that was the greatest night for me, man. I saw Blade 2 by myself in the theater on 14th Street, Union Square. And even though it has problems, right? Now looking back on it, there are a lot of problems with Blade.
Remember how gassed you were.
But watching that movie, I was like, this is fucking amazing. And Blade 2 is still amazing. It's just, I think
it is.
The ending didn't land well. Blade Trinity, not great, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the uncut.
Yes.
Wesley Snipes brought the science. This is the actual movie that gave you superhero movies, folks. Now, I'm not going black conspiracy on you, right? Blade is the movie that gave you a lot of the stuff. It was what people like, oh, whoa, this movie made millions in a theater, right?
One and two were utterly amazing. I don't hate three, but I definitely stand by 1 and 2.
Can you check something for me real quick, and I'll entertain you off? Check the release date of Blade, and then check the release date of the original X-Men movie. I need to know which movie came out first.
Oh, Blade definitely did.
Blade came out first.
X-Men is 2000. I know X-Men is.
If Blade came out first, I'm telling you that this is the movie that gave you
98. And
98.
X-Men is 2000. I remember that.
So Blade also gave you a prophetic view of R-rated superhero movies.
Yeah.
Right? There would be no other. I can go on and on. So if they want to sacrifice this movie at the altar of quality, I'm fine with that. Right now in this moment, I'm fine with it.
You know what's fascinating? Originally, the Blade movie was going to be a Black Panther movie.
Yes. No. No, it wasn't going to be a Black Panther movie. Wesley Snipes, after Blade, wanted to develop.
Oh, it was after Blade. I thought that Blade was supposed to.
No, he wanted to develop Black Panther, and he
just wanted to play all the black heroes.
Yes. I don't know if he was going to be in it, but he really wanted to do it. So I'm okay with it. Chime in on the chat. You let me know, Mantis. I want you to have the final word on this, man. Are you cool with it being sacrificed for the altar of quality? What are your thoughts?
Oh, well, if it's eventually going to be made, absolutely. Obviously, I don't want it to go the way of Batgirl, where they are just like, it's done. Give up those dreams. They owe it to us at this point. They've already announced it. Because here's what I'm saying. All they have to do is put some work into it, and they can make this great.
It could be amazing. Why not get Ryan Coogler to direct it? Right?
Well, wait, hold on. I will have faith in him after I see Black Panther 2. Because this is going to be hard. I feel bad for anyone who had to work on this movie because there's no telling what the audience wants. Because they have to both tribute him and bring in a new one, and it's like, but if he can pull this off, he's going to go down in history.
Before we get there, I want to address Matt. I think Blade 3 is underrated. It's not perfect, but there are good things in that movie. Yes, Matt. Actually, there are a lot of good things in Blade because when you're looking at traditional writing and story arcs, it followed that to a T, right? His great mentor in Whistler finally met his ultimate demise, right? I remember when Whistler died in that movie, Matt, he said the coldest line to Blade right before he died. He's like, "You're like a son to me. I see you surrounded by enemies, but no one standing next to you." And I remember sitting in the movie theater and I was like, God damn, that's deep. That's deep. Let's talk about Ryan Coogler for a second because there's a chance that he's going to be directing one of the next Avengers movies. It's all but confirmed. It's all but confirmed. If he's not in the running and they haven't confirmed it yet, maybe they are waiting to see what Wakanda Forever is going to be. New trailer just dropped, right? I'm going to give you my instant review. Not as good as the first trailer, but still amazing. You can't repeat what happened with the first trailer because there was a lot of great things going on there. You had No Woman, No Cry being mixed into it. You had Kendrick Lamar's "We Gonna Be All Right," obviously addressing the fact that we're all gonna be all right. That Chadwick Boseman is dead. That was the perfect way to roll out the original trailer. This trailer, however, was fucking amazing, man, and I enjoyed it because there were things in there that I got to see about Namor, and I want to cue in on one shot, and I want you to just run with it, man. I want you to just let your fucking mind roll. One shot in this new trailer where Queen Mother is on the beach with Namor and
Right.
this loving embrace. I'm not saying it's romantic. There's something deeper going on in this plot that we're all not seeing. And I've been speculating and hypothesizing. And a part of me wonders if they're going to say, hey, let's forget about just the beef part of everything we saw from A versus X. What if they're attacking the surface world? Wild, unsubstantiated claim here.
You think he's attacking what?
What if Namor's attacking the surface world because A, the surface world did something to contribute to the demise of, Wakanda. B, more likely, Wakanda broke some secret treaty with Atlantis in regards to remaining a secret society. Or C, is it just a moment that these two people had on the beach? I'm going with B, but it doesn't plot-wise make sense. Why would your enemy be standing in front of Queen Mother?
Well, I assume it's going to be at the end of the movie where they realize they've both been duped.
Right.
Because I really do believe the rumors that it will eventually be Doctor Doom who is behind
that play,
who's making them fight. And I think at that point, that loving embrace on I know the part that you're talking about. I think that's going to be toward the end,
right?
When they realize they've both been fools. Shaolin said, "I thought it was way better than the first trailer."
I've always hated Shaolin.
Well, I think they're both very good. They're just very different, right?
Oh, here you go with your liberal bullshit. They're different but good.
Well, everything's a competition with you.
It is. Even this even the competition.
You're like, honestly, the Book of Job is so much better than the Book of Psalms. It's not a competition, man. And so the thing that blew me away, I think it blew everyone away, is that last shot, right?
Which was the last shot?
It was a female Black Panther.
Yes. Now, I reported to you guys that it had been confirmed and leaked that it was Shuri, right? I'm kind of backpedaling just a small bit because I'm like, that just seems too obvious. What if it really is Okoye? I just want to throw it out there to hedge my bets. What if it really is? Because the great prophet John Campea awakened me to something today. Shuri, as we know her in the MCU, is not the Shuri that we know from Marvel Comics, right? Shuri was also a warrior in the comics, and then her.
Yeah, she's just a dork in this.
Yeah, and Campea's got a good point. There are 3 capable warriors that live in that world: M'Baku, Nakia, and Okoye. How is the woman who's never trained, or we've never seen her train in any way, shape, or form, going to beat a man with wings on his feet? What's going to happen? I don't know.
Here's what I'm saying. Story-wise, here's what I'm saying. And I'm going to put multiple fronts on this. Story-wise, it has to be Shuri.
Right.
Audience-wise, they either want Baku or they want Okoye.
Right. Okay.
I don't think they want what's her face. I don't think they want his girlfriend,
Nakia.
Yeah, I don't think Nakia has done enough. I mean, I don't think that she has the chops. I think everyone loves Okoye, and I think M'Baku everyone loves.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right. Story-wise, here's the important part of the first Black Panther was that it stay in the family. It was very important that it stay in the family. And then when some bastard ass cousin takes it, he fucks everything up, right?
Right. Bro, hold on for a second. Matt may have nailed it right here. Go to Matt's post right above next one down.
Oh wait. I think Namor's mother was killed and it was made to look like Black Panther did it. So the queen lost her son and Namor lost his mother, but Doom killed Namor's mother. I think that's probably it. Yeah.
Right. Really good, Matt. Really good. I agree with you, Mantis. I agree with you. I just want to hone in on something else in this trailer that was present in the first trailer. The flooding of Wakanda.
Yeah.
I'm giving this trailer a 10 out of 10. I gave the other one 10 out of 10. I enjoyed the other one more, but this was a perfect final trailer. And this is apparently the final trailer. Like, this is it. They're not really
about to come out. Isn't it November?
Yeah, well, we got to get our tickets for Black Adam, and
says Shaolin says it's Shuri. Look at the mask; it matches her face. I do agree
I agree.
Yeah.
It's Shuri.
However, now here's the thing:
right?
That image is of Shuri, and so once again, we don't know who will end up with it. For all we know, multiple people will be Black Panther throughout this.
And I was just about to say that. So if they want to ruin this movie, they're like, everyone's Black Panther.
You know how it's Wakanda forever? That means all the worthy Wakandians will give it a shot.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they can do with whoever they want.
Go ahead.
They said Nakia is not a good character. Should have saved Lupita for Storm. I agree with you.
Lupita would have been a better Storm, 100%.
But you know what they did? You know what they ended up doing? Here's the thing. I actually believe that if Chadwick had survived, I think they would have done Nakia betray everybody.
Yeah,
she would have gotten the bet, and that's why they put the better actress in that role.
Yeah,
because they're like, later on down the line, we're hoping she's going to do some serious acting. And I think now that he's not in the game, they're going to skip that plot because it loses impact without actually having the boyfriend.
Here's what I'm loving about this, right? You guys know I've been calling for the end of comedic MCU for quite some time now. I said this.
Went too far.
I'm on record of saying this before Love and Thunder came out. I was like, the jokes need to stop. Now, other people disagreed with me, not Mantis. Other people disagreed.
I didn't know how bad it could get. I didn't realize.
Bigger content creators they kept saying that Endgame and Infinity War were too dark, and I was like, I don't think so. I think they were appropriate for the story.
I thought it was the right amount of dark and comedy. They had a lot of comedy in Endgame. Are you kidding me?
I don't think obviously there's going to be some jokes in here, but I think this is going to be an extremely serious movie, a very somber movie, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's the perfect way to end Phase 4, because if Kevin Feige is really committed to course correcting, what better way to start here? I think it should have started with Thor, the God Butcher. The minute they didn't name it the God Butcher and they announced Gore, I was like, this is going to be some bullshit. I knew this was going to be some bullshit.
You know what's crazy? So I don't know if you had heard, but originally, like, the director of, Taika Waititi, he said, it was originally a 4-hour movie. And they were like, really? And then he's like, however, it's even more comedy to the point where it's like Monty Python.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I was like, you didn't edit enough out of it.
So another thing we got in the trailer. No, they didn't edit enough. God damn it. You're right.
It should have been a half-an-hour movie.
I'd be interested in the Mantis cut. I would enjoy that. So, per previous conversations, how does the hold up feel about Black Panther potentially being Guyanese? There's nothing to substantiate that he's Guyanese. No. Since you misspoke, he doesn't mean Guyanese. He means Nigerian. That's an inside joke. I'll tell you.
What's that? Because I thought he was really talking about like a real leak or some shit. I was like, wait, what?
Hold on for a second. Let's talk about this, right? I was not upset with the casting of Namor, but I'm feeling this actor. Let me say that the actor in this role, that shot of him and Queen Mother on the beach, I was like, this fucking guy can act. This guy can act. That picture,
I firmly believe in the guy's ability to act, the Namor guy. Right. Here's the thing that's bothering me. So did you hear about the whole body shaming thing?
Well, I body shamed him before anyone, and it is a competition. And you got on me about that. You were like, he's a swimmer, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, he's got a love handle.
I think it was Diodato. He ended up tweeting a picture of his shirt off, and he says, when the guy they get to play Namor, it isn't as fit as the guy who draws Namor. And
ouch.
and it's true, he has a better body, but the point is, he had the comparison pictures up on Twitter. And later on, he had to apologize because they're like, you're body shaming him. But I'm like, here's the deal. And I'm starting to realize it. And I was like, no, Namor, I understand that he isn't going to be big, but he should have zero body fat. He should have a Bruce Lee fit. He should have muscle. He should be more muscle than fat.
Yeah.
Like I do. Namor does look like I could cut off his back fat and make bacon.
Yeah. Agreed. He is not in his peak physical condition, even though you espoused that he was a swimmer. And I was like, I ain't never seen a swimmer that looks like this dude before.
I realized, looking back on it, I kind of realized I was being too nice.
Yeah, but here's the thing: that shot of him and Queen Mother, and shout out to the Queen. You know, I don't believe in Queen culture, but shout out to the Queen.
What do you mean you don't believe in Queen culture? What does that mean?
We can't all be queens and kings. It's
no, I don't believe in kings. That's stupid. But she's the queen, man. We gotta love the queen.
Shout out to the Queen, Angela Bassett, man. My one critique of the first movie was I didn't feel like her full acting chops were represented because I didn't get to see her with.
Yeah,
I think if we got to see a scene with her and King T'Chaka, that would have like really represented like how great of you could have seen them together in their dynamics. But that scene with Angela Bassett is, and I hear you whispering, their protector is gone. Now's the time to strike. I was like, fuck, bro. This is going to be real. Now, you're a DC stan, admittedly. And I don't begrudge you that. You gave me some DC comics to read. Read them, the Lantern Wars or whatever that shit is. Read it. I couldn't get.
He's just disregarding everything. I think it's a comic. I'm not sure what the fuck this was. This pamphlet boy game.
Marvel, in spite of our best efforts to say that they're failing, they're winning the marketing wars because they released the Black Panther.
We're just cutting straight to the chase, man. You're never trying to be.
We got. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Before I go there, yes, Riri Williams' armor was seen for the first time. I thought it was okay. It looks
okay.
I
hate Riri Williams. I know you. Williams. I hate everything about her.
I don't hate her.
Here's what I'm saying. Brian Michael Bendis created Miles Morales. God bless him. He's a saint for that. He's going to heaven. Yeah. However, when he tried to be like, I'm going to make another black character.
One more
Riri Williams, fuck that.
Well, you got to remember, Riri Williams was going on. She came out near or close to the Jane Foster. Maybe I need to fact check that, but if Miles Morales wasn't the greatest character when he came out, we love him, right? We love him, but
he actually took a while. Here's what it is. I was actually a collector of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yes,
so I didn't like him at first, but I kept reading him, and he grew in my heart, and he earned, in my opinion, the title of Spider-Man.
He 100% earned that fucking title.
Riri didn't earn shit.
So the best representation of Miles, though, that isn't in comic medium, is in the Spider-Man game. Like I love
that. Yeah, I played that DLC.
That's the best Spider-Man game. But we got the shot of Riri. But in regards to Marvel winning,
you notice how I called it a DLC.
Yeah, I caught that. I thought you were channeling Zach there for a second. Shout out to Zach, man. He still supports, man. Shout out to the
Zach. I love Zach. Always doing all right.
Here's the thing, my brother. Right, Phase 4 sucked. All right, objectively, we can all say Phase 4 sucked. We had a few gems.
But Marvel, I do hate it when people say it didn't suck. What about Spider-Man? I'm like, what about Shang-Chi? I'm like, okay, you named two things.
Again, in Phase 4 for me, it's Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, not in any order, but Doctor Strange, Loki, WandaVision,
boom,
and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Hold on. I'll let Moon Knight slide in there.
You'll let Moon Knight slide in?
I'm saying he's lower. He's lower than the other. He'll be their butler.
Your fat girl at 4 a.m. at the bar.
You're looking at her like, she could come.
You
had to think about it.
But Marvel winning the campaign wars yet again, man, proving that there's a reason why they've been on top yet again. Obviously, the biggest news. Now, this is, in my opinion, bro, the biggest news we've gotten for the MCU ever. Because it was massively marketed, considering the characters. When Deadpool was premiered in the Fox universe of X-Men and Wolverine Origins, after a movie that experienced the worst leak in my recollection, do you remember that movie leaked and it leaked with unfinished CGI and it was on the internet a full fucking like 3 months before the actual movie? Horrible disaster. The movie was horrible. But if you'd have told me that Deadpool, that Ryan Reynolds would have gone on to make 2 movies that are just beloved by people, and then if you had told me that Logan was the movie that was the true crescendo of the Fox universe, I'd have been like, you're fucking crazy. Those things are never going to happen. But it happened, right?
Yeah.
Logan did so well and was so highly anticipated that you remember that they released the trailer or a teaser where Deadpool comes out and does some weird shenanigans in a phone booth with an old guy before the Logan movie, and people loved it.
Yeah. By the way, I would say in terms of personally, I did not believe in Logan. I thought Logan was going to suck.
I know. I remember.
I had to see it to actually believe it.
It got a Super Bowl spot. And I knew it was serious then. I was like, someone's seen this movie already, right? For it to get a Super Bowl spot. Because if I'm someone associated with the Super Bowl, I'm like, who? You want who? Fuck out of here. The little Canadian? Nah.
Logan is a freaking great ass movie, man.
But Ryan Reynolds didn't make it to D20, D23, whatever. Comes out, breaks the internet. Take it from here, man. Because you're gonna roll it out better than I ever could.
He's a freaking genius. So he says he's been working, and here's what it is. There has been here's the whole thing. Here's the first backstage. I got to tell you. You know how people spot celebrities going in to the Marvel Studios offices? There's literally people camped out looking, and every time they report when anyone walks in, and then they report it. And so back in the day, like, a while back, they were like reporting that, what's his face?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman was going in there, and everyone assumed he would have some appearance in like, in Doctor Strange, Multiverse Madness. He doesn't appear, and people are like, it must have been some crazy rumor.
No, actually, he just said it was a scheduling conflict. He really wanted to do it.
However, obviously, they said, well, how about a future Deadpool movie? And he must have said yes, because I love the way Ryan Reynolds put out that video, and he probably had Hugh Jackman for like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman is like, I gotta leave town, and he's like, can we film something real quick? And he put it out there, broke the internet,
bro. And it's the lead up to it for a full 2 to 3 years. ABC News, Good Morning America, reporting on their tweets back and forth, right? Hugh Jackman went on.
They're bros, they're brohams, right?
Yeah, he went on Good Morning America, and they were like, "What's this thing with you and Ryan?" And they're like, "He's just like, oh, he's desperate. He wants me, blah blah blah." And they're just, he's actually the one that gave Ryan Reynolds the shot on Origins, which I did not know that Hugh Jackman was either not the director but the writer or producer on that.
Produced it, yeah.
Producer.
That's crazy that that movie is so bizarre.
Shout out to the Fat Mantis. I did not see this from a bigger content creator, right? I only get alerts from one YouTube channel on YouTube. I have my privacy, my filter set that way. I get a ping on my phone that you release a video. I click on it, and it's like, well, Ryan Reynolds just broke the internet. I was like, oh, we got some Deadpool information.
Oh, so you learned it through me?
Yeah, through you. I look at the backdrop of your video and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Click. And I'm like, oh shit. Now let's break it down, baby. Let's break it down. The living room they sit in. I can't confirm this, but I know what living room that is. In Logan. Do you remember there was a kindly black family that got slaughtered in that movie?
In Logan.
Oh, right. That is the home of the black family that got killed. It's not important that they were black, but that's where they were sitting when he released that video.
Are you serious?
I believe that to be the home. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain.
Wait, so do you think he's going to go against old man Logan or real Logan?
I don't know about that part. I just know that looks like the stairwell and stairwells look alike, but I'm almost convinced that that's that family's house, which would make sense.
Now you're going to make me watch that shit again. Lainey, what up? Lainey said same. That's how she learned as well. That's awesome.
Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine and Deadpool, man.
Here's what I want, though. Here's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that it's a fight in the past. He can fight young Logan,
right?
And Logan the movie will still happen. I don't want it to disrupt the way it ends.
I don't want
to be a movie in the past. You know what I mean? Like,
I think this movie is going to be the multiverse of madness that you wanted, like the actual multiverse of madness. I think that I hope that this movie is, because remember at the end of Deadpool 2, he's doing a lot of time jumping.
That's the thing. He has access to whatever, and I assume that at the end of the movie, that's when he goes to the MCU.
Right.
But, I mean, he is normally in the same universe as Logan.
Yeah.
So normal Logan, so they can just fight proper. But I think it's, and I'm glad a lot of people were speculating like, oh, it's just a gimmick. He'll be in there for 5 seconds. I'm like, no. The thing is, it's the symbol of Deadpool with 3 slash marks down it. That is that's a Wolverine versus Deadpool movie.
Now, why
the way we had Batman versus Superman, the way we had Civil War, like
bro, and this is and shout out to you for pointing that out, because I thought that for a second. I was like, maybe it's just gonna be a quick cameo, but I was like, no, this is a real ad campaign rollout. The fact that they had him walk by and then they play Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You," perfect timing, dude. Perfect timing. Here's the thing, right? You're right. I don't want them to change anything with Logan, but if they get into some multiverse shenanigans, I think this would be if Kevin Feige wants to put his dick on the table. Right. And then I'm going to get into how they dissed DC with this. Right. Mm-hmm. If he wants to put his dick on the table, if they get into multiverse bullshit, right, this would be the perfect time to roll out the new actor for Wolverine in the MCU. Because I don't think Hugh Jackman's coming back.
Oh, no way. He's not staying. He's not. I don't. Because, obviously, I'm sure it took a lot of convincing. Actually, did you see that thing when somebody caught him leaving his house in Sydney, Australia?
No.
It was like 2 days after the thing, and he's walking, and like some reporter just got him on his cell phone. He's like, "Hey, Hugh." He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's going in his car, and they go, "How'd they convince you to come back?" And he goes, "Convince me? Nah, I make my own decisions, man." And he gets into his car and drives off. I was like, "Yeah."
No, and you gotta remember, Kevin Feige and Hugh Jackman have history with each other from the X-Men movies. But what do you think?
Oh, right. He dates back. He goes, that was like his start.
Wait, it's even deeper than most people know. The comic strips that they have of in Logan, not allowed. Hugh Jackman had to go there and get permission. It's like, you gotta let us do this.
Right, when he's like, you're an X-Men fan, right? Yeah, I love that, actually. I love that.
Hugh Jackman's a stand-up guy, but what do you think? Would this be the perfect time to roll out the new actor? Because then it gives the blessing of the old actor.
What would be really cool is when he leaves his own dimension and ends up in the other dimension, he meets the other Logan at the last scene.
Yes.
That would be amazing. I wonder if they're going to... Here's the thing. I always think of things that are like, I'm like, this would be brilliant for them to do, and they just don't do it because maybe they just don't have the foresight that fanboy modeling school has.
Right.
But I mean, that would be amazing if they had this foresight,
Bro, I never theory crafted. This is Axe Mantis. This is not my thing. I hate theory crafting. I don't like it.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you it's something that Nomo is cute. The only time I've seen you theory craft in like years is the Rings of Power.
Yeah, that's it.
You started theory crafting, and I was like, "Who am I talking to right now?" You got that excited for it, right?
Yeah, I'll usually ruin an episode of Fanboy. I'm like, I have nothing to say on this topic. Moving
yes,
on.
exactly. Isn't this fun? You're like, it is not fun. Theory craft. I'm like, thank you, Wednesday Addams. But like, you really like theory crafting for Rings of Power, and I respect it.
I love it. I really do. There's so much shit in the background in the MCU that I think we need to be focused on. We need to let go of Phase 4. They need to acknowledge how bad it was, right? And now this is me publicly multiple times for the first time ever on Fanboy acknowledging, because of She-Hulk, how bad.
Really bad. It's gotten really bad.
Phase 4 is, right? I can't believe we're only in phase 4. I keep trying to do the math on this shit. I'm like, it just seems like there should be more.
Yeah.
I want to say this right now, right? She-Hulk is not a feminist show. It's a show that had wannabe feminists on it, which make up the sum total of a lot of feminist communities, right? And it just didn't understand that what actual female comic nerd fans want. Yes, they do want representation, but not the way that feminists think they want representation. They want to be represented in a medium that's awesome. And anything that you have to do what they did in She-Hulk is not awesome.
It's a mess on every level. Like I was saying, it's not fun. It's not really funny. It's not adventurous. It's not dramatic. I don't know what I'm seeing here, but like, is it interesting? This is what I actually think. Actually, I would say Wanda and Loki are like on the same par.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the most part, the quality of the shows just keep going down.
Yeah.
And so by the time when you hit Moon Knight's good.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's good. And then you have Miss Marvel that's worse than that. And then you have She-Hulk that's even worse than that.
And how is that relevant to what we're talking about in regards to Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman? I think this is all a part of a plan. And I hope this is a part of a plan to course correct to make the MCU what we love, right?
I 1,000% agree. This is absolutely. I think this is what it is. He said we need those tight announcements. We need to make things happen. We need to get people to loving MCU enough because there's too many naysayers out there.
This is what Wakanda Forever is. This is what Deadpool is. Don't think for a second, folks, that these things didn't happen strategically. This announcement, that, and all that shit. Whoa, Matt, slow your roll.
Man, that's that haterade strong in his veins, yo. Well, I said Wanda and Loki sucked. He has no room in his heart for either of them.
Matt, when you said that, all I heard was the music from the end of Jay and Silent Bob. How many people want to kick some ass? I do. I think this is great, man. Now, how is this the big fuck you to DC? I texted you right after I watched your commentary on it. Everyone, you included, motherfucker, have been talking about Henry Cavill coming back to the DCEU. And all they had to do was lock that deal down, give that man whatever he wants, but lock it down because that's what the people want. And what did Marvel do? They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, tell them Hugh Jackman's coming back. There was no strife or contention at the very thought of them coming back. And no matter what happens next, Mantis, I'm sorry. This has already overshadowed that. Even if Hugh Jackman does show up in Black Adam. Even if he does show up, you're always going to remember the day you heard that Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine that no one wanted, came back to the MCU. Came to the MCU for the first time.
I'll say this real quick. You ever notice that like a lot of the people actually you named earlier, like you're talking about Hugh Jackman, you're talking about Ryan Reynolds, you're talking about Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Feige. You know what these guys are?
What?
They are better businessmen than they are their supposed job of being actors or producers.
Good point.
And Kevin Feige knows how to cut a deal. He
Good
knows
point.
how to get people to sign on the dotted line.
He's got a gun to their head. That's
I think he may have done like a deal with the devil or some shit, but he knows how to do it. And I think he knew. He's like, I need to get this motherfucker to sign to save my business.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to go down as the guy who made but then broke the MCU.
Right.
Who wants to be known as that? And so you are right. I think it was a great business decision. Like that, Kevin Feige was like, okay, we got to fix this. We got to outdo DC every corner, every turn. You know what would be great? Hugh Jackman coming back for one movie.
Yeah.
Bro, I think it's brilliant. He's a sinister fuck, man. Kevin Feige, sinister motherfucker. Man.
Back. Kevin Feige's back. Actually, if they were going to turn the MCU over to anyone, there's in the MMA community, and I say MMA proper, in regards to the UFC, right? Because it's not the UFC community, it's MMA, mixed martial arts. People always ask in regards to the UFC, who's going to take over after Dana White? one of the most polarizing promoters to ever exist. But no one can deny that Dana White not single-handedly, but helped turn the UFC from a sideshow freak show into the
Oh yeah, of course. That was
So
all him. That was all him.
Who's going to take over after Dana White? People also ask the same question. Who will take over after Kevin Feige? I'm just going to say this. You guys aren't going to like this. And I'm okay with being wrong. But based off of the marketing talent that I've seen from Ryan Reynolds, if Kevin Feige said that Ryan Reynolds is going to take over as the executive producer for the MCU, I wouldn't be mad at that. Because we're talking about a man that made a still that got Deadpool launched. And was only direct competition to the MCU for fucking 5 years, bro. Like every time you thought about something that was going on in the MCU and you heard that Deadpool 1 was coming out, you're like, well, we gotta wait and see. That was the original sentiment. Deadpool 1's coming out. Let's wait and see. We weren't even thinking about DC for a little while there. And then Deadpool 2 was coming out.
And so you also know about the rumors about the whole Snyder Cut and Ryan Reynolds?
Yes.
So Ryan Reynolds was originally supposed to be the Green Lantern in the reshoots, not the original idea. But when they decided, let's bring in people, they're like, yo, everybody loves him. He's Deadpool right now. Let's bring him in. And they had him negotiating for mad long, and he kept saying, he's like, my schedule's too busy. I don't know. He tries to crunch numbers. I can't. And people are saying, like, that was strategic. Like, he didn't want the stink of the DCEU on him.
Right, just like an unattractive ex-girlfriend. You're like, I don't want people to know I was with her.
Yeah, and you don't want to be spotted in public with her. It's just like, you're gonna come. I'm like, I gotta check my schedule.
She's like, babe, you want to come get the sandwich with me? No, you go in, babe. You go in.
You come back to my place. So I think he's a shrewd businessman. He knows what's up. So Henry Cavill is a rumored connection with not only Black Adam, but also the Flash. I'm still about these movies. I'll watch them now.
Go see him. We're gonna go see Black Adam together. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go watch these movies. But your thoughts? Black Adam. I think it's gonna be a good movie. I'm hoping it's a good movie. I want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to have a good movie. Right, I can't think of anything that I've actually enjoyed since The Rundown.
Here's the thing: here's what I'm saying. Before Dwayne was connected with it, if someone were to be like, "We're going to make a Black Adam movie," I'm like, missing it. Fuck that. Why does he get a movie? It just makes no sense. But it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, so I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? If it's him versus Henry Cavill, then I'll definitely.
Oh man, that would have been an amazing situation.
I really hope that there is a fight between them. I really hope the rumors are true that they're gonna have a fist fight, and
I don't think
there will be a Superman. You don't think so?
I don't think so on any level. I think that would have been the right thing to do. I just don't think
that's what will get that movie to $1 billion.
It would. What I agree 100%. But just because he said no one on this planet can defeat me, he could very well be talking about the villain. And now I'm not even sure if the villain's the villain I thought it was, or if it's Trigon. And if it's Trigon, this movie's gonna flop, right? Not flop. This movie's gonna not be accepted by comic book fans. So the villain that was teased potentially in this movie, the demon that you see,
right? Some sort of demon coming out of the water.
This demon is more akin to what you saw in the original Shazam movie, the first Shazam movie.
Right.
It's the antithetical villain to Shazam, where instead of deities, it's demons that this villain gets his powers from. And I sent you that clip in your Discord, and I was like, "Oh, this is the villain." And I was like, "Wait, they already did this." So I don't know how they're gonna do it. If Henry Cavill is in this movie, I don't know what's gonna make me walk out the theater besides, Dr. Fate. That's going to make me go, what was the point? I'm thinking about it.
Here's the one thing that I think is going to be really cool about Black Adam. It does look like there's a lot of special effects and a lot of superhero powers. And for instance, where Ant-Man is boring, at least Adam Smasher looks cool because he lights up when he grows.
You think Ant-Man is boring? What's going on?
Well,
there?
I'm saying visually, he's just like a
Oh
big
yeah,
dude.
yeah, he sucks.
But I'm saying that they added some weird like, energy effect when Adam Smasher grows big, and like obviously Doctor Fate, they're trying to out Doctor Strange, Doctor Fate. Obviously, it's all rip-offs. He's even doing the mirror thing.
Yeah, mirror
He's
dimension. Yeah,
ripping that shit off. Although it looks cool, so I'll be down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they have my least favorite character in comics of all, Hawkman. Fuck! Don't come at me with the.
they made him black, so it should be better, right?
Fuck that shit. Hawkman is my least. Yo, he is one of the reasons I stopped reading comics. I'm like, this motherfucker has a mace.
That's it. He has wings and a mace. You're like, oh, he's got wings, and they're like, well, he straps those on. So he's just a dude. They're like, yeah. He's a dude with a mace and some wings that anyone can strap on. Yes. Okay.
I'm done reading comics. Oh man.
I think it looks like a fun time. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I will definitely check it out. Definitely looks better than the next Shazam, which looks totally plain.
Yeah, it looks mid for sure. Matt says I'm gonna see all these DC movies, even the Flash. I don't care how many babies Ezra had sucking on toys.
Yo, let's really quick. Let's close this up with Ezra Miller bash talk.
Oh,
that
yeah.
dude is a psychopath.
Yeah.
Did you hear about how he said he's Jesus?
Every once in a while, there's always a white man claiming to be Jesus.
Yo, he claims that he's Jesus and that what's her face, Takata Iron Eyes, who he calls Gibson, is Satan. And that's why people want to keep them apart, because if they come together and create a union, it'll create peace on Earth. And so apparently that was what he was ranting and raving about. I'm like, I don't want to ever see this man in a movie, but Henry Cavill and Batfleck are going to be in it. So how could I not watch this movie?
Yeah, you know what's great? They canceled Batgirl, which they should have, right? I'm okay with that decision.
Yeah, totally cool. It looks so CW. It looks so cheesy.
Wait, so do you think that trailer leak is real?
Wait, there was a Batgirl trailer leak?
Oh my goodness, you're not up on this?
No.
I don't think it's real, but yeah. Google it after this. YouTube it after this.
Shit.
Ezra Miller is what happens when people stop paying attention to Kanye West. You see how I circled the show all the way back to the beginning.
Well, wait, hold on. Kanye West is at least entertaining crazy.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. When people don't pay attention to the crazy, do the exact opposite of what Kanye wants you to do. Ezra Miller definitely had an ad campaign. He's like, listen, it's 2022, and I should be able to start a cult. You know what Ezra Miller is? Every time I think about the stuff we heard, the one thing out of Eternals that I always found interesting, what's the one Eternals name that had a cult and he controlled everyone's mind? Because that guy looks like Ezra Miller. Druig. That's what I thought Ezra Miller was doing.
Yes.
He was on the run.
He's a mess, and like, how are they going to market this movie? It's a nightmare.
Steve, you got to read Robert. Can't pronounce that last name. It'll make me love the character. All right, so Matt, is this when he became like an Egyptian god, like the because I like that version of Hawkman.
There's so many different versions, drives me crazy. Like when in the 90s, I used to collect a Hawk World.
Okay.
But Hawk World takes place on the world. It's so confusing. Where the weapons come from?
The mace.
Yeah, the mace and the wings come from a world where people use those on their eggs, and they're space aliens, and that's a totally different experience. Hawk World.
So you know who could have cleaned all this shit up for us? There's only one man you want at the helm when it comes to writing to make sure shit makes sense.
Are you gonna say Hickman? You're gonna say Hickman.
Jonathan motherfucker Hickman. Why do you hate Hickman so much?
I don't hate Hickman. I just
you hate Hickman. If you were at Comic-Con and Hickman came up to you, you're like, oh, Hickman. I didn't get the toilet paper off.
You're what passes for a writer. Wait, hold on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what his whole bio is. Jonathan Hickman. He even looks like a dumbass. So he has written. I'm reading look at all these things. This all looks like crap. Crap. East of West. I love East of West, actually.
Hater. It's the straight hater.
East of West from Image Comics was great.
Okay.
So Marvel, Legion of Monsters, Astonishing Tales,
Fantastic
Secret
Four.
Warriors, Fantastic Four, Dark Reign, Strange Tales, more Fantastic Four, FF, of course, Shang-Chi, Shield, Ultimate Comics. He did Thor, he did Fallout, he did the Ultimate.
You love those. You love those.
Yeah, I know. I do. Sorry. New Adventures. Okay. Secret Wars. X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay. He's whatever. He's okay.
He's
I'm
just
done here.
the books that I love the most. We're in 1 hour and 45 minutes. No, but it's good. A little messy middle because you're the villain, but he pulls it together in the end. He visits the past, lives, and tells his origin, reincarnation. It's good. Okay, I'll check it out.
Check it out. But this has been in another amazing fanboy modeling school. Do you have any final thoughts, my friend?
Yes. Wakanda Forever needs to deliver, and that's all I got. I need that movie to hit. I don't even give a fuck about Blade in comparison to Wakanda Forever. This movie needs to hit, and I'm hoping it's the movie I think it's going to be. If not, Matt's going to be right. What the fuck? Are you playing the trailer for Wakanda Forever?
No, I'm playing our outro music.
Okay, my bad. That's all.
Sorry. Anyway. By the way, I always do these lovely share screens if you ever need to share screens.
Wow, I love you all. Good night.
Yo, this is Fat Mantis leaving. That's my man. So hold up. We love you. Until next time, ciao for now, bitches.